Hello, I'm the FanFic Critic. I read it, you listen. I have had a couple episodes where I take a look at more than one fanfic, I have to admit. In a couple episodes I've actually taken the look of multiple works from one author. Well, today's episode is not going to be any different. You probably noticed that the title of today's episode is called Peter Chimaera. I'm not sure if I said it right, but the thing is, that's not the name of a fanfic, that's the name of an author on fanfiction.net. They have written 12 stories. And in today's episode, I'm going to be taking a look at all 12 of them. You may think, wow, this episode's going to be taking forever, right? Well, not necessarily, because most of his stories are incredibly short. The longest one being 700 words. So, I think I can pull off reading all these. So, let's get started with the first fanfic called The Simpsons Dinner. It's rated K, it's in English, it's humor, family, it's Homer, has 47 reviews. So, let's get started. Chapter Oin. May I ask how you managed to get the letter I in that word? How did you manage that? Okay, they are kind of right next to each other on the keyboard, but still, I mean, chapter 1. I mean, that is like right before the actual story. Not even the story yet, it's just saying chapter 1. I mean, you had to have seen that before you published it. I mean, you just had to. Okay, well, let's read chapter Oin. Marge had to tell Homer the news. I'm lucky that my sisters are coming over to dinner. I am lucky that my sisters are coming over to dinner. First of all, glucky is not a word, or at least I don't think it's a word. You should say lucky. And second of all, it should be to dinner, not do dinner. And finally, there's no period at the end of that sentence. Put one in there. Oh, dough. And he dropped his hammer on foot. Don't you mean on his foot? Because he was fixing doghouse. Don't you mean the doghouse of Santa's little helper? Don't you mean Santa's little helper? When the big news came and he was so shocked of anger that he dorked it right on his so much toes. Chapter 2, they come over. Whoa, what? You mean all of chapter 1 is this tiny little sliver of a paragraph and now there's chapter 2 already? You know, if you really were going to divide this into chapters, there's this little thing called chapter navigation when you publish stories on fanfiction.net. Although something tells me that chapter 1 wouldn't have been long enough. Okay, let's read chapter 2. Pass the onions, no Selma, and Homer ate so much pork chops that he went, I don't feel so good, and ran to the bathroom. Where did Homer go? Whoa, where do I begin with this sentence? I mean, take a look at this. I mean, first of all, pass the onions, I'm assuming is supposed to be spoken dialogue, yet there's no parentheses around it, and there's no punctuations. And then the second dialogue there of no Selma, why is that in the same paragraph as the other dialogue? If you're starting new dialogue, it should be in separate paragraphs. And, oh, pork? Don't you mean pork? How could you mess up with that? And the sentence is just so run on. I mean, this entire thing right here is a sentence. And it's running on way too long. And there's like no punctuation marks in here whatsoever. This is just awful. And her where is not, and her were is not a word. It is not. Let's continue. He went to bathroom. Don't call your father Homer. Don't you mean he went to the bathroom and it should have a period at the end and the D and don't should be capitalized and there should be an apostrophe T at the end of don't? And Maggie creates suck noise and shrugged her shoulders because it is all about Homer's eating too much all the time. Mr. Burns cammed over and rung the doorbell. I didn't know the doors had belts. Marge took off her apron. I'll get it. Don't be a hurry. Wow, an actual punctuation mark. But turns out at the door was Mr. Burns. I am doing off-hours performance review, and I need to speak to Homer Simpson's. Okay, Simpsons should not be plural because it's one Homer Simpson, not multiple Homer Simpsons. Or he gets fired. But he is in bathroom? What a predicament. Okay. Chapter 3, Homer has to get his job back. Okay. Mr. Burns, I missed performance review, but I wanted to get my old job back. No, it is too late. I have replaced you with Ned F. Landers. Are you serious? Are you serious? How the heck can you put a semicolon in the middle of someone's name like that? Seriously, are you purposely writing this bad, or are you really that incapable of using a keyboard? Doe. Googly doo, Mr. Homer, I am working at that power plant you work at. Home Flanders. Okay, Ledocalary, or whatever. But he thought it was Mr. Burns telling him and went home, so Dr. Burns had to fire him. So Mr. Burns is now a doctor. Chapter 4, ha 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 you, okay, ha 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 ha, and you should be two separate words. Lost your job, Homer said to Flanders, and Founder's house, okay, where they were having barbecue to celebrate Ned Flanders' birthday. It was a pickle. You're not mad. Why is you're in the text version of your at Homer? And why is it italicized? Why is this all italicized suddenly? Seriously. Went home and slammed the door on his foot. Not again on my foot. And Zelma was still there and laughed at him badly. So did the others, like Bumblebee Man also. But Peter Graffin did not, since his on a different show. And that's the end of The Simpsons dinner. Wow, what a colossal waste of time. Let's take a look at the next fanfic, which is called Resident Deadly. It's rated T, it's in English, it's horror romance, it's Jill and Chris, pretty much Resident Evil. So let's take a look at this. That's not a story. That's not a story. One little paragraph and then an extra line of text is not a story. This isn't even plausible to be a chapter. Well, I said I was going to read all of his fanfics, so let's read this one. Jill Valentine. Oh, no, wait. Let's say that again. I think they spelled Valentine wrong. Jill Valentine. Yes, that's right. They did spell it wrong. Yeah, learn to spell. Was found herself in a mansion courtyard with and no way, get rid of the word and, into that house, but she had one zombie to contend with and no bullets of any gun. She had problem and zombie would not leave her alone. Jill finds rake and swings Dreek off it at zombie's throat, hitting it in the nailed hem. The zombie chuckled, I wilt eat your brands. I'll finish this later. I'll finish this later. Wow! No wonder this story is so short. The author decides after the first paragraph of it, "Oh, I'll just finish it later." You cannot just do that!
You see, if you do not feel like finishing a story, then do not put it on the fucking website! Especially like this. This isn't even a chapter. This is just nothing. This is like a...
Well, 2 stories down, 10 more to go. The next fanfic on our list is Digimon 3, Predator vs. Digimon. Well, this one's a whopping 620 words, so at least we know it's not going to be short like the last one, so at least this one will qualify to be a fanfic. It's rated T, it's in English, sci-fi adventure, 39 reviews. Let's get started. Digimon 3 Predator vs. Digimon. Chapter 1. Don't you mean Chapter 1? Deadly Drop Down. Predator was going down in a tailspin. I'm going to crush. And he crushed into a hallway, apostrophe L. What is it noise? Asked the limo driver. He was driving Digimon to his house on the island. It must be a, don't you mean an alien, but it is friendly? Digimon checked out his in front of him and it went all clear. Forget about me, I go on ahead. And Digimon did a jump out onto road, but there was a fire. Help me, a kid was wrapped under a car, she said. What? Who the hell is this she person? Whatever. Said, and Digimon went running to safety at her. It is not a good time for a children to die. It is not a good time for a children to die. Children. Children. Children is plural for more than one child. Children is the plural version of the word child. So, if you mean to say child, then say it is not a good time for a child to die. Yes, and get rid of the ED at the end of died, or more appropriately the D. But you get the idea. And if you do mean children, as in more than one child, then get rid of the word a. Why S that Digimon? He just barely lifted the car and it was not enough. I would need much more strength to lift all of it, so he had to find a way. Meanwhile, to alien, don't you mean alien, craft was all exploded and they all fell down from tremendous blast wave. But little kid wasn't safe. Form the car which fell off the bridge gled. My work is in there. What's with the random things in capital letters? What's with all that? Is someone supposed to be yelling? And it doesn't make any sense if someone is supposed to be yelling, because some of these things should not be being yelled. Sorry, sir, but we have to be lucky that your daughter was not curled. Yes, that is true. What? The next day, Digimon woke up and went to get readied for work, but there was knock at the door from a probably postman. I will get the mail. He opened the door and there was another predator. My brother is dead. Whose brother? Could you clarify? Who at you? My name is Kurlerkak, and my brother died because his ship crashed and the predator weren't invisible and then shot a lasers at Digimon 3. Digimon had to avoid the shots, so he did the splits. If he had power to see the Predator, but he had to figure it out. Look, you are behind the stairs, he said, but it was a trick, and when Predator realized he was not fooled, Digimon did a butterfly kick and knocked off the invisibility with gruesome attack. You kicked me in the invisible. You kicked me in the invisible? That is just start. And Digimon punched so hard that Predator went unconscious. Digimon felt lucky that his bomb did not bomb the place. I have to find out why the ship crashed. So Digimon and Predator went to the FBI. So now they're a team? But they said they can't go in there. Who are you to demand to come in? I am Digimon. You are not a Digimon. You are not one of the... Yes, I am. I am a new Digimon, but there is no time. Arthur's Notel. Digimon is a new Digimon because there is not actual Digimon that is called Digimon. He is the new one that I invented.
Do not insult author's notes inside of fanfics! Ooh,
Let's say that again in a more clear and concise voice.
Do not put author's notes in the middle of your story. Author's notes are supposed to be at the beginning of the chapter or the end of the chapter, not in the middle of it! And another thing, this author's note makes no sense.
Digimon is a new Digimon because there's not an actual Digimon that is called Digimon. He is a new one that I invented. Wow! How creative! How creative! That'd be like making up a Pokemon called Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon.
You like my notebook? I called it Notebook. You like my pencil sharpener? I named it Pencil Sharpener.
Stupid!
So they broke in with a timeful kick to the very door. The door crash-led,
Don't you mean crashed?
across the room so hard it flew across the room.
You just said it went across the room, so why are you saying it again?
The police tried to stop him, but they were trapped behind the door that flew. You cannot take the evidence. And FBI shot at Digimon, but missed and hit Predator. So Predator went invisible and took the cop unconscious. When Digimon found the evidence, it said that the ship crashed because of FBI experiments. This is bad news, said the police. So it was all blown high and wise. Now, how will you get your home play? Net. I will have to fly there in my ship, but thanks for your help. Here is a spear. Chapter to help with the police. So what the hell is this little paragraph here, chapter 2? It's really short, by the way. Digimon experienced a knock at his door, but this time it was not alien attack, it was police. It's okay to relax. We are here to congratulate you for exposing the FBI. So they had a dinner, but Officer Victorix did not come because he was very busy. The end. Okay, that chapter was completely pointless. And who the hell is Victorix? I mean, what the hell? What the... Whatever. Whatever. Let's move on to the next fanfic. Oh, geez. Okay, it's a Half-Life fanfic called Quarter Life, Halfway to Destruction. Quarter Life. Well, I have to admit that's somewhat creative. It's rated T. It's an English adventure. It has 157 reviews. Ta-da! Author's nose. Author's nose? So is the author's nose going to be talking to us instead of the author? That'd be like if my nose decided to review an episode of FanFic Critic. That would be very interesting, wouldn't it? Or even better, my hand.
Hello, I'm the FanFic Critic's hand. I read it, you listen. Today we're going to be taking a look at another Peter Chimaera fanfic called Quarter Life, Halfway to Destruction. Author's nose. On Encyclopedia, which is an online encyclopedia like Wattpad, said I was writing a story called Quarter Life, Halfway to Destruction and didn't know where come, but I decided to write it anyway. Well, that made absolutely no sense. Okay, let's take a look at Chapter 1. Chapter 1, what it means. Gordon Frenchman was studying labyrinthe. Okay. I don't even have eyes and that didn't make any sense to me. Gordon Frenchman, oh, I'm sorry, wrong line, ha 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 ha. Fellow scientist Cal Orker Jim said, Gordon Freeman, what are you working on? Okay, where the hell is the question mark? You might have discovered new radioactive isotope, but it is so volatile that it does not have a half-life but quarter life, so we must observe with hasty. Just then, a head crab, okay, went on Jim's head. Oh no! Where did head crab come from? G. Horton gets to his crowbar. What? Get his crowbar. What? It was missing, so he had to borrow a claymore sword. Okay, I don't believe claymore swords exist in Half-Life, and I'm just a hand, so I shouldn't technically know any of this. He hits head crab, and Jim was okay, but his head was cut. Okay, if his head got cut, then he's not okay. Watch where you swings at me. Just kidding, thanks. Ha ha, they laughed. Wait! Oh no, it's the top. You it been stole. Okay. Chapter 2, they reconquered to isotope, but they don't. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, excuse me, I have to scroll down the fanfic. 1 minute. Sorry about that. Let's go on to Chapter 2. Gordon and Jim arrive at the alien scene where a bad guy from the game said, I have taken the isotope and it caused meltdown. No, not all of Dallas, which was target of where they were, and it was nice place, and my friend lives there. Okay, why is it in first person? If you do not agree to my demands, what the hell is going on? I'm confused. Too late, and the isotope hit quarter life, and the room was slowly becoming vaporized. You must escape out of here fastly, but Jim was already blown to smithereens. Don't you mean smithereens? Okay, now we're at Chapter 3. Chapter 3, Distraction is imminent. This is Gordon Freeman. Wow, they actually said his name right for once. How do we
pertain to Meltdown, I know, and he used portals to push Henmei quarters into a portal so Dallas wouldn't melt down and it would only go off harmless in the Atlantic Ocean. Hooray! I succeeded at winning the mission. Not so fast, Mr. Gordon. What happens next? You decide. Thanks for reading. Please buy my book at peterchimaera.com. I am poor. Why would anyone want to read a book from you? Your writing sucks! Okay, I'm gonna let the FanFic Critic take over. I'm getting tired.
Okay, let's take a look at the next story. Desert Bus Ride 1, a romance story for ladies. And this one's 700 words. This will be a doozy. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, it's rated K. It's in English. It's romance. It has 52 reviews. Let's get started. Desert Bus Ride number 1, a romance story for ladies. Mr. Oakland, was he driving? He was drive to get the place was Las Vegas, but had's make to drive all the way for 8 hours approximately. Oh great. He am talk loudly at him. It was too long to enjoyable ride. Oh no, speed limit, he announced to his driving bus, who was shocked. They wondered what was his drive problem. The passengers listened to him as he told them what happened. It is powerful drive across desert no man has ever. No man, said them quietly. One man he is powerful warlock, and he discovered this desert incredibly. Scares children, one mother said, and she was scared with earmuffs. Is not cold in desert, so Mr. Oakland did not know why she... Okay, if it's supposed to be a Mr., it should be a he, not a she. Why he wear them, so he leaves bus operation to investigate. A man who was there drove as well because he could a bus with his license. The earmuffs were made of scientific discovery. It keep me cool while we bus drive, she explained. Mr. Oakland decided to believe her story, but knew there was something up. We nearly hit a skunk, said the driver man, who was named Bob Orlando, and he speak with no nervousness, for the task was unfrightening. We did not hit, so it okay. I must drive for safety, Mr. Oakland say, and he get back into wheel. Bob Orlando fall. He's sick. No, Bob replied. Thank you for your concern, kind woman. I have lost my balance. When he gets up, they find blood. How far to Las Vegas? And if they have hospital, the lady woman, are you serious? Said with her dress in her fist. It is 7 hours and 45 minutes more, so hold on for speed. But we must make most of gasoline, so they did not speed up. I am okay. Bob petted his hand on the blood and put it stopped, so it was only small blood. What is name? Margaret, she said distantly as look out the window into desert. It was hot, so she holding dress carefully in case of hot exhausting. I see you are wearing expensive dress. Thank you. It is one of my favorite clothing, but it is not important. I have meet my boyfriend in Las Vegas, and he will be in trouble. Bob was sad that she had girlfriend, so is she a lesbian now? But knew he could win her triumphantly to like him and maybe get a very good cup of coffee. But why? He asked for information. My boyfriend is work for FBI, and they have dangerous terrorism. That is outrageous, Bob demanded. I hope he is safe. Why would he demand that? Demand? No. It should say, Bob exclaimed, not demanded. Saying that is outrageous is not demanding something. Demanding something would be like, hey, give me that pencil. That is demanding. Not saying this is outrageous. That's not demanding something. Thank you for concerning you. Mr. Oakland thought carefully. It was too hard to tell the truth that his first name was Kyle Roberts and he worked for FBI too, but Eternal Affairs sent him to watch FBI so he knowed that Margaret boyfriend would be him job. Stressed, he almost drove off the line but pressed left and did not. It was a close one, he said, but no one understand and did not know, so he did not bother with them. One man on the bus was from India and he talked of what it like to grow up in India. When they arrived, boyfriend got shot. He am hit by bullets, Margaret thought very loudly. This is all because terrorists. Mr. Oakland punched fist into air with angry. He was angry. Boyfriend say, I am Jim and I am your cousin Kyle. It was too much, and so Mr. Oakland cried in bus for 8-hour drive back to Tucson, Arizona. He never found out how it went at the hospital and was never told. What happened? Asked an old woman. This is frightening me. We will be back soon, but it will be very dark, he said to new passengers. One of passengers worked with Kyle Roberts for FBI many years ago, but Mr. Oakland could not tell him the harsh news. The end. Dedicated to the brave FBI. Well, at least with this story, it appears that the author at least tried to use punctuation and paragraph spacings, so that's a plus, but it was still a huge jumbled mess. Okay, let's take a look at the next fanfic, which is Devil May Cry, The Crying of the Demon, and it's in all caps except for the E and the. Ay, ay, ay. Let's take a look at this very long story. Dante went to read in his castle of darkness, but he was not sad, was angry one. A man was that a demon came to conquer him, but it would not so be. Or it would not be so. I have come to deliver a massage. What is this? Written by I Kill Faggots or something? From a demon said. You do not need an ED at the end of said. A beard man with angry sword. How could a sword be angry if it is an inanimate object? You see, this thing, this razor here, it could never be angry because it's not alive. Are you mad? Are you? Please, please, tell me why you're mad. Uh-huh. Yeah. I know. You're not alive, and they keep on implying that inanimate objects like you can have feelings. Well, you can't because you're not alive. Wait a minute, if you're not alive, how the hell are you talking to me? Okay. Well, let's continue. He ripped Dante Castel, but Dante ducked under the sword and returned the final blow. Who the demon? Dante sets down his fists. I am only bring message, at least they spelled message right, and the man died with blood attack. Dante was explore for clues in old mansion. Time to rock and roll, he thought it had brightened him. Relax your weapons, said the demon woman. Her name, he said, was Carven, and she explosioned a fire at him. Dante took his pistols is spelled with an O, not an A, and cracked a awesome, don't you mean an? Awesome lightning, and she came to exploding. Dante swooped down with sword, but sword broke. Knack! One, okay. Tath was my father's sword. I murder you. Why is that in capital letters? But she was already mudredict. What is that? That is not a word. 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 That is not a fucking word. What
you mean by that anyway?
Madre.
What do you mean by that? Seriously, what do you mean by that? Do you mean murdered? Because if you're supposed to be spelling murdered, that is not anywhere close to how you spell it. If you're really having issues with spelling and grammar, perhaps you should A. Use spell check, B. Use a dictionary, or C. Get peer editing, or D. Use all of the above. Let's continue. Because, I spelled because wrong, she was undead ghost spirit of demon working for the great demon master Powerloth. Good work, yo, freed Craven, but now fights you against me. And it was Simon Belmont from Castlevania who was turns more evil by Darkula. Don't you mean Dracula? Too much power, so Dante did not have his sword and had use his gun attack. Fire bullet. Dante shoot at Simon and bled his face off. No, Simon was not free dog because he was under evil power too long. Dante felt bad about it, but Tath was his duty. He would make new sword out of a metal and would win triumph over another evil Aegean. He end. Wow, that was an intelligent story, wasn't it? Let's take a look at the 7th fanfic, which is a Halo fanfic. Oh God, the fanfic is called Black Crisis with Master Chief. I think you all need to be informed that I am a big Halo fan. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to control myself if this story is bad. So, let's take a look at it. Well, at least it's not a whole lot of words. It's still a blob of text, but at least it's not a huge block of text. Well, let's read it. Chief? Not now, Master Chief answered as he blasted his rifle at the Covenant guys. I am in an emergency. When the emergency was over, he said to the radio, "What is the message?" "It is very important," said Private Martha Burke, "and you must return to base. I will drive you there." She pulled in on a Warthog just in time as more Covenant came running with other guns. Chief jumped into the back and fired with the turret at full power. "What is it?" he said as he shot all over. "Hold on." Martha panicked. "We are driving right into a black hole. When Master Chief killed the last of the Covenant, he let go of the turret and picked up 2 rocket launchers. It's action time." Okay, the Master Chief is out of character because he does not speak like this at all. He's a man of few words. And he most certainly does not say lame lines like, "It's action time," he said. Then he pointed and fired the rockets at the black hole, but it did nothing. Giant grates? Giant grates? What type of phrase is that? He exclaimed. Exclaimed is not a word. But it was too late and they got sucked in. His plan didn't work. "Our only plan is to use a teleport," she shouted, but couldn't be heard over the black hole. Minutes later, they were on the ship and everything was okay. "Thanks for saving us." Master Chief sighed because it was a long day. What the hell happened? What the hell happened?
confused here. This story made no sense. This made no sense whatsoever. It didn't make any sense at all. What are we to assume happened here? Well, at least it was the best written story out of all the stories I've read of this guy so far. So maybe that means with every story I read, it gets better and better, hopefully. But something tells me not. So let's take a look at the next fanfic, which is called Castlevania Wisps of Dracula. It's rated T. It's an English supernatural romance. Richard Dracula, 125 reviews. Let's get started. The Richter Belmont was read a letter he got from the mail. His son was sick, but he read the letter over the candle of the lights. It was dark night, and he was in the house, but the letter was from Maria Renard. Se was from away you, and we was worried to her. Alucard is fear what we be trouble. I send the power up for you to combat the evil. So he takes the power, and the light turned to white all around him till it was so bright his eyes couldn't see the vision. Richter gasped, "It is te powerful." 10 Dracula came and eated animals all over the forest. Word spread to the village where the Belmont family was reneged of it. It dreadful. I am worried of my husband who lumbers in the forest all day. Do not worry, I am safe the village from him, said Richter, said goodbye to neighbors Shelley, and ran off to fight the vampire. First he fought the Frankenstein and death, but a whole bunch of skeletons too, until he found to Dracula. Ha ha, Dracula laughed. That's not a word. You have fighting for very long house. It is almost midnight, and then I will be more powerful. I can fight for a few hours more, and he whipped the crystal out of Dracula's hand. That is lonely crystal. That is not source of power. I am still power. So Richter whipped again, and Dracula neck blooded. Don't understand. Tath crystal was fakes. I sent it to you to replace the real one. It is full of holy water which you are standing on, so you will lose all your power. No, that is not make sense. Exactly. Whip again, he commanded as he whipped at the head off. Dracula's, or Darkula's, I am to quote the author, Darkula's head rolled down to Forest Hill into the swamp by Transylvania Desert. I don't believe there's a desert in Transylvania, but maybe there is, I don't know. And his body turned to dust. I'll never fight you again, but my son will fight when he is older. That is cursed over the Belmont. But he came home and his son was dead of schkick. No, it impossible. Richter was sadly, but he knew that he could train of other Belmont. He would have another child. What the hell? Again, this is a big what the fuck. I mean, what the... Well, let's get this done and over with. Let's take a look at the 9th story. It's called The Matrix Return. And hopefully this will make more sense than the last fanfic. It's rated T English, sci-fi adventure, Morpheus and Trinity. 75 reviews. Let's read. Again, it's several blobs of text, whatever. Let's just get this over with. Neo was awake from sleeping and he shouted at Trinity, "Help you, I think you're dead." "No, I am not," she said, and She got some water, drank. Morpheus walked into the bedroom. Good morning, Neo. We must kung fu. So they train the jiu-jitsu and martial arts. Neo kick him. Good job, Morpheus. We got a distress signal. It is from Niobe. So they ran into the ship and they found Niobe. Make up your mind of what the name is supposed to be. And she was okay, but there was a sentinel. Neo punched it. His hand was hurting very badly. Neo, you must be careful, Morpheus. Don't you mean Morpheus? Said and shot the robot. Wait, Neo said, and he downloaded how to kill the sentinels, but it was too late and caused the machines to create a new matrix. No, we cannot. Our powers in the new matrix. Then Neo disconnected, but he looked dead, and they all told Niobe the sad news. What happened in the first matrix? They are all dead. Tis is too much. Morpheus shouted quietly. Help me fight to save this. I'll help you, Trinity say with the cry. She was sad cause thoughts Neo was dead, but it was matrix tricks. Neo tried to stay help, but his body was frozen. Oh no, Morpheus said as to radar screen, more matrix is attack us. We will have to rug in. Trinity hooked her up when they entered the place was filled with Smiths because the matrix was corrupted with the matrix virus. I'll fight this 500, Morpheus said, and he swore out his katana at great attack. Trinity watched in amazing. Don't you mean amazement? You are so good. What's this Morpheus? Can they make up their mind what the stupid guy's name's supposed to be? Read a data because he was fight agents, don't you mean against, and make them run, but the data said some information. It says Neo is alive. Don't you mean alive? We should wait, go back to seek to him. And they took off by using phone interface. Neo was okay, they find, because of medical equipment. The matrix is virused, so they can not control the people anymore. We arm not win yet, but shall continue of the fight. They agreed and formed for strength so they could fight the matrix one other day. Gentlemen, the fight goes on, Neo said with his fist, and the crews cheered with new hope. Again, a story that made absolutely no sense. Let's move on to the 10th fanfic, which is a Gundam Wing fanfiction called Gundam Wing Final Battle. Jeez. Let's get this over with. Okay, it's rated K, it's in English, it's adventure, it's Hero Y and Zex M, and has 60 reviews. Center Gundam Wing, Final Battle / Center. Hero was having a rough day at school and his muffin for lunch did not taste the good. Don't you mean did not taste so good? No, I am hungry. And this is not good, and he threw the muffin and hit a guy. Hey, the guy said, it was having bad day. Sorry. And so Hero went to his Gundam and he flew away to be by himself at the North Pole. Ha 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 ha, said Zex, who was waiting there for him. I have returned and I will kill the Wrath with Gundam power. They fought and Hero won, but Zex detonated his Gundam and the North Pole blew up. No, Hero was mad at all the penguins die. Zex got the ship and flew to space. Hero's Gundam was not good for space. He went spocking or spoken with talk to the Gundam inventor who fixed it. Now I can fly to space combat, and they fought in space where TY battled with beam swords until both mobile suits were all damaged and none could move. It was the end of combat, and Duo found them and rescued Hero. No, I cannot be left to die, Zex said as he was stuck there in space. Thank you. Hero and Duo went to Earth where they had peace. Maybe the end? It's the end for me because I'm done reading this stupid story. Okay, let's take a look at the 11th fanfic, which is Digimon 2, Return of Digimon. I don't think I have to tell you guys what genre that is. It's rated K, it's in English, it's adventure. Just say adventure. And it has 54 reviews. Oh, wonderful. It's one of these fanfics where chapter 1 and chapter 2 are in the same chapter. Chapter 1, The Robot Fight. It has been 2 years since scientists destroyed the road. Digimon now learned to ebb more powerful to fight the Evoli. So he built robot body because the world was in danger of an evil Digimon. You cans not be stopped. Digimon said, "You are my twin brother." That's right. Not even you can stop me. So they fought it, and Digimon's robot suit powered its laser and shoot and blew up to evil Digimon. Author's note. You spelled author's note wrong. In chapter 2, evil Digimon is not really dead. It's a trick. Oh yeah, thanks for spoiling things, although there isn't much to be spoiled about. Chapter 2, surprise attack. Digimon was to home eating briefest. He ate an omelet and toast with English muffins, and he had bagels and Captain Crunch. He was also eating orange juice. You cannot eat orange juice because orange juice is a liquid. You drink orange juice. A muffin and sausage and a bacon piece, but he also ate just bread. His girlfriend was kiss him good morning say, but evil Digimon came out fridge and shot. Ha! Or and shotted, ha! I will kill you, Digimon. There was no time for a robot, so he went right for the fight. They punched the ceiling and flew to fighting in space. I am created by evil scientist, he said. I will destroy all the roads and no one can go on them. No, then people are tarped until be stuck. Ha ha ha. I do not care. You will die now. They fought for a long time until they were tired from the fight, and Digimon killed him with lethal blow. Well, yes, of course you're going to get killed if you got hit by a lethal blow. Seeing lethal is another word for being killed. Impossible. I cannot be stopped. Then explosion. When good Digimon came back, he wanted to find his girlfriend, but she left. It was too late. Sarah, you moved to England too soon, and I didn't say bye, but she was gone. The end, dedicated to Sarah. I'm not even going to say anything. I just want to read the final fanfic, which is called Digimon Saves the World 111. Yeah, you know the story's going to be a doozy if there's a ton of typos in the actual title. So this is another Digimon story. It's rated K, it's in English, it's an adventure, and it has 91 reviews. Let's get started. Oh my god, again it has chapter 1 and chapter 2 in the same chapter. Because this idiot does not know how to use chapters for fanfiction.net. Chapter 1, Chaos in the Lab. The wind flowed spray-like into Digimon's face, but he was not interested. The world needed to be saved because an evil scientist had created a machine that could destroy it. Digimon was a hard time getting into scientist's lair where the man had a gun. It's too late, he smiled. It was an evil smile that he held the gun with. So is his smile holding his weapon? No, it's not too late, you monster. I will destroy you. And he charged and he used his Digimon power to kill him. The world was saved from evil. Hooray, I saved the world, he shouted. The world is safe. Well, at least he spelled world right that time. Chapter 2, Digimon goes home. But he found that on the way home there was no road. It was too late, like Saint said. He had already destroyed the road and the people were trapped on the island that they were trapped in. There was nothing he could do, so he went home and cried. I don't know what happened. In fact, for most of those stories, if not all of those stories I read, I have no idea what happened. I honestly have no idea because these stories were all over the place. The only story that made somewhat sense was the Halo fanfic. And that didn't even make any sense in the long run. What the hell? These fanfics. They're so bad. Wow. Delmon 2500's Land Before Time series made more sense than these. The work of I Kill Faggots made more sense than these. Reading a story written by a kindergartner would probably make more sense than these. These were just bad. And don't get me started on the spelling and grammar. My God, that was awful too. And this person just could not make up their mind with what names some characters were supposed to have. In some stories, they didn't use punctuation marks whatsoever. I mean, some stories, the grammar and spelling was decent, but in others, it was like all over the place. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Wow. 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 You see, their oldest story was written back in 2002, and their most recent story was last updated in 2010. So they've had plenty of time to improve on their spelling and grammar. And I started to read the stories with the newest one going to the oldest one. And as you can see, the spelling and grammar was all over the place. I mean, there are some stories that were older that had better grammar, and then there were some stories that were older than that had worse grammar. I mean, what was this person like on drugs when they were writing these fanfics? I don't know. Is it a deal where there's two people using this account and one's younger than the other? I don't know. Is this person like purposely trolling or something? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. These fanfics don't make any sense. They made no sense. They were really badly written. They were badly thought up. The person does not know how to use chapters. They do not know how to properly use punctuations. They do not know how to spell. They make up their own words. It's ridiculous. This person, this author right here, is probably one of the worst fan fiction authors I have ever come across. Ever. Wow. If you have this long of a history of writing fanfics ranging from 2002 to 2010 and all your fanfics still suck, then that tells me that you don't give a crap about your stories. That you just don't. Because you would think between that time period, 8-year time span, that you would have improved with your spelling and grammar, and you didn't. You didn't. Most people do, but you didn't. Didn't. I would think all these stories were written around the same time with how they're written, but no, they're not. Well, I'm the fanfic critic. I read it, you listen, and I need to take some medicine because I now have a headache because I read such an awful fanfic. Ugh. Oh, crap, it's not dark enough to do that effect. Oh well. Fade to black.